Hi everyone, Crooks here from Ace Trading. Let's talk about our newest indicator, Surfcast, and answer a few questions. How do you become a member? So in order to become a member of Ace Trading, you need to head over to WAP. On the screen now you will see what WAP is about, but on this site you will find our Ace Trading page and you'll see a price on what we have to offer and a nice description there. It'll also show you what you get included with your membership. So you get access to our Discord, an online course, some content, all the files such as the bots we have and indicators, a website link to a survey, and also strategies and indicators that we have on TradingView. You get that all included in the one membership. Currently we have membership at $60, but at the end of April it is going up. So members that lock in that price now will keep that price. After that, price will be going up. Can you show us what members actually get? So what does it look like when you become an Ace Trading member? So I thought it might be an idea to show you a bit of what happens inside our member Discord area. So if you do sign up to become a member, the first thing you'll do is you will come to the public area of our Discord page. And on this page, we have a number of channels that anyone can actually access because it's an open area where we have our welcome and our rules, obviously the WAP link to join and sign up to become a member. We have a start here page, which kind of outlines where members start, what videos to watch, a bit of guidance about what kind of different types of bots we have, so beginner bots, intermediate, experience, and so forth. We have access to our YouTube channel, where you'll find nearly all of our how-to videos. We obviously post other information inside our members area, but that is information that is accessible to everyone. We have our profit share, so where members share the successes and the challenges they're having with, the profit that they're making, and some prop firm links. Inside our member area, we have the day trading chat. That is where we have just pretty much as it says, our trading in open hours of the sessions and also the nighttime sessions and so forth. Just talking about what are we doing, what trades we're taking, how we're going. We have our lounge chat, questions around our bots, ideas development. So members can suggest ideas to me and I can code them for them so they will have automated bot strategies and bots that we can use as a group. We have our founders area, manual trades discussion, money management. We're currently looking forward to our next challenge, which is a quit work challenge, where we're going to try to aim for $50 to $100 a day across multiple accounts so that we can take some payouts together. We have our trading tools, so announcements, news, education, resources, example setups, our playbooks, so what exactly plays we are going to run with our bots. Our mentorship area. So our mentorship is our one-on-one coaching that we offer. That is available to those that take it up. That is actually accessible at our website. We have a number of indicators currently available. Today I'm going to be talking to you a bit about Surfcast. We have our beginner bots. So this is the area that new members will come across and they will learn how to use Wavebreaker, Waverider, Surfer. Then they will step up and move to intermediate bots. Then move to the more experienced bots such as Wayfinder, Fair Value Gaps, Fills. These are videos that I've posted previously on YouTube. We have member created bots. So these are ideas that came from members that I have coded and all members have access to. We currently are releasing Ninja Renko specialty bots, such as the Ninja Wave Rider, VWAP Velocity bot, Tsunami Effect, Opening Waves, the new Surfer bot. And then what everyone is excited about is our AI bots. They'll be released soon. We have AI Breaker, Whitewash, Wave Stacker, Wavefinder, Market Structure bots. We have so many bots that we are going to release. And we also have our coming soon bots, so ideas that are in development as we speak. We also have our live trading where we jump into and discuss trades, just depending on the time of the day. Come on, Krugs, when can we get the AI bots? What is the Surfcast Indicator and how do you use it? How to add the Surfcast Indicator to your chart. Alright guys, now it's time for me to tell you a bit more about this indicator, how to add it to your chart, and also what the different aspects that are involved. Previously you've seen me take a few manual trades using this indicator, but I often like to use this indicator to give me the bigger picture of what is happening in the market. So this is where I'd go to first, and then I'd use other indicators and other bots to, I guess, put in my orders and take my trades for me. But so let me talk first to you about how to add it to your chart. Okay, so you've been given this indicator. How do you do it? So you need to make sure that you have at least 35 to 40 days loaded onto your chart. Because we are using a 20-day ADR, we need to make sure that we have 20 days of trading on the charts. So including weekends. So if you go about 35 to 40, you tend to be okay. We are always using a 5-minute candle. Okay, for our timing, so we need to make sure that we are using 5-minute candles, and make sure that your tick replay is on, because we are using a lot of different indicators, a lot of different data. We want to make sure that the data is accurate, so that we can gauge that better picture. Okay, so there's a few key things you need to do there. Everything else is standard. Okay. Also, let's have a look at what we have on the screen, okay, and then I'll talk a bit about them. So we have we'll start as the night starts. So we'll talk a bit about the night times. Let me go back to the previous day. Okay, so as the session starts, we have this thing called a chop zone. Okay, and this chop zone is where price, obviously, as it says, it's very choppy in that zone. And what you'll find is price will tend to move away from that chop zone, and then try to come back to it to then reverse out of it again. Okay, that's what chop zones do. There's a fair bit of research out there around the Fab 4. Okay, using 4 different bits of information to form that chop zone. I'm not going to go into detail of it now. This is something I'll do in the members area of our Discord. But I just wanted to tell you that that's kind of where it came from. You can see here price moved away from the chop zone, and then moved back up into it. Okay, and then it just stayed in it for a while, tried to push out, and then as the chop zone ended, we moved into our the daily session for the US day. Okay, so the chop zone is the first thing that you can add to your chart. Either side of that, we have these things called the ANR, the upper exhaustion line, and down the bottom somewhere we would have, let me just so we can see it, we'd have the lower exhaustion line. The ANR is what we like to call the average nightly range. Okay, if you're familiar with DR, you would have sessions like the ADR session, ODR session. We're just kind of combining the ADR and the ODR into one session, calling it the nightly range. And you can see here, it kind of calculates for you how is the nightly range going. So it's the night ADR. Okay, so on average over the last 20 days, we have 153 ticks. 153 points being the average, okay? And today, currently, this session, the previous day's session would be a combination of 68, okay? Because today's session is what is happening right now. It's what's 35, okay? Generally, you will find it'll stick to the averages. Okay, 5, there's a bit of difference from the nightly range, but sometimes if you have these massive breakouts, it does distort the data a bit. But you can see anywhere from 100 to 150 is kind of what I'm expecting. So if price moves down, pretty much down to the exhaustion line, I'm expecting it to bounce back up and move around. It's quite rare you'll see it get up to like 200 and things like that, unless you have special occasions such as news events. Okay, but the 3 things that I look for in the nightly session is obviously that upper exhaustion line, the chop zone, and the lower exhaustion line, okay? The next thing I'm looking for next is obviously, before we move on to that, I wanted to talk to you a bit about the yesterday's values. Okay, so if I scroll across, you can kind of see here we have yesterday's high, yesterday's open, yesterday's close, and yesterday's low. They are real key support and resistant lines for price throughout the day. Okay, and you can see it kind of went around here, bounced off once here, came back up, kind of hung around those different values. Okay, so I like to have them on the chart just so that I can see these key support and resistance lines. I want to make sure that I tell you that all these indicators and all these bits of information you can turn off and turn on as you please in the options, and I'll show you how to do that last. Okay, but I'm going to leave them all on for now so you can see exactly what we're dealing with. All right, so we finished the nightly session, and now we've just gone into our first hour of the session, of the daily session. You can see here, price started, pushed up, kind of went around like this, and we have this thing called a riptide. Okay, and what the riptide is doing, it's looking at market orders. Okay, so we're looking at a cumulative delta over that first hour, and it's kind of telling me that roughly there was about 57% of it was the selling power. Okay. It's kind of in the middle, so I'm not expecting it to do too much. Often you'll find that if you have like a big value, such like an 80-90%, and price hasn't hung around the top, it's kind of moved down, you tend to find that it will break that low and will end up pushing down lower. It doesn't always happen that way, but the riptide is a good way for me, a good indication to give me a direction the way the market is moving. Okay, even though kind of 57% isn't a strong value, so it kind of could flip either way. Once we broke out the top side, I wasn't expecting it to come and break the bottom. There's a lot of statistics out there. I might actually put one on the screen right now, indicating that there is a good chance that I think it's 88% chance that once it breaks the top side, it's probably not going to break the bottom side. Okay, 12% chance it's going to break both the top and the bottom. Okay, so that's really good information. So now once we've broken our opening range high and we have our riptide value, we can then start to see that it's going to test a 50% range. Okay, it came back down, it tested it, kept going up, it even got up into the 100% range. Okay, it's a good indication. So I often like waking up in the morning over here in Australia, grabbing the last couple of hours of the day. What I'll do is I'll look at these kind of values and go, okay, has it hit our ADR upper exhaustion zone? So we spoke a bit before about the ANR upper exhaustion line. We also have this upper exhaustion zone for the ADR. So if we're kind of pushing high values based on our ADR, I'm waking up in the morning for me in Australia, which is this time here, going, okay, I'm assuming I'm thinking it's going to reverse out of that, because price generally, look at that, it hangs around that 220 kind of value, and if it's already up around this value and there's still some time left in the day, it's probably going to reverse, and I'll start looking at some shorts out of this upper exhaustion zone. Okay, it's already past 100%, kind of tested that 150, and then it's come back down, so there's a nice short that I could take. Okay, that's just the ways I would trade using this indicator. Okay, there's a lot of things involved. We have our nightly range, our daily range, cumulative delta. So we have down the bottom here on the right the 5-minute candles. That gives me an indication of what is volume, what's kind of the market orders are going on in this candle that's happening. Okay, the last 15 minutes would be the direction, and then obviously the last 60 minutes kind of tells me, okay, are we heading in a bit of a trend or what's going on? If all these three are positive and quite big, I'm assuming that we're going to be in a bit of a long situation, so then I would want to get in the market. Okay. At the end of the day, the orders, all these lines are stopped, everything is stopped, and we start fresh for the next day. So if I just start this indicator off, you will see that we have our chop zone. Okay, price is kind of hanging around that chop zone. Often I would take a little breakout, not too much. Look at the previous values. You can see my previous high, things like that. They're kind of areas and things that I would look for if I was looking for a breakout. Either side, if I was looking for a breakout low, I would kind of look, there's VWAP. Okay, I've got VWAP on this indicator as well. It's pretty much the all-in-one indicator that I use, and I always have it open on NQ, ES, crude. It gives me an indication of what's happening throughout the day, so I can leave my computer, come back at any time, and have a bit of an outline or a bit of a bigger picture of what is happening. Okay, you can kind of see now we're kind of hitting, this must be a bit of news here, maybe not a bit of news, but a bit of volume happening at 7:30. This is Central Time. Okay, so there wasn't really much happening in that chop zone, so probably not a great day for trading, but you can see there's a bit of a push down. Okay, negative kind of moving down in the riptide. Riptide would have a color for the line. So if the volume is 100%, it's telling me that 100% of the orders are placed in the bottom side of this line. Okay, the line is drawn at different positions throughout that opening range, but it gives me an indication of what's happening. So most of the volume's down here. Given this particular candle down here just jumped down, that'll play into a bit later. I'll talk about something what I notice a lot with that candle, the opening candle. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of volume down the bottom here. We've pushed down quite hard. We've kind of hit the bottom of that chop zone. Probably a bit of a reversal is happening here. Okay, even though it's 100%, there could be a lot of orders, people getting out. Okay, a lot of market orders coming in, so people getting out of their trades, and that's probably why it's turning around, pushing up north. So for me, I probably would get thinking, okay, if I can bust through this VWAP, I would assume that I would be happy to push up to this 50% range extension high, but you can see it's kind of consolidating because we know that once it breaks high and closes above, there we go. It's probably not going to come back down and close below. And there you go, you would have got that nice 50% range extension. Okay, now what we're looking for is to see how high it can go. Okay, there is a bit of an exhaustion zone up here. Considering this candle was quite big, it's 114 down to, it's nearly, look at that, it's nearly 80 points. So I would add 80 points onto this. So it's 130. I'll probably think go to about 230. I probably would consider price getting up to here based upon that opening candle. So what I find is if there's usually a massive opening candle at the start, it tends to move around, and we can include that value on top of the exhaustion zone. This is just the start of the exhaustion zone. We don't know how far it will go because we're talking about averages. We don't know exact, but this is giving me an indication if I was waking up in the morning going, okay, where am I at? Am I going to short? Are we nowhere near the exhaustion line? Are we going to push up? It just gives me that bit of information. So you can see here prices moving up, and it has broken through the exhaustion zone. So I probably wouldn't look at going long in these areas because price is going to be exhausted soon. It's going to move up. We are getting up to that didn't quite make it. So we are going to make it to that 230, 220. Okay, now we're starting to see some cumulative delta coming negative. No, we're moving up. There you go. It's a nice evening start there. And they're starting to exhaust. So I would be looking at now, see a lot of negative power coming down, a lot of negative buys stepping in. Now I'm thinking about shorting out of this exhaustion zone, maybe back into the exhaustion zone, grabbing a quick 20 points. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to get close to the end of the day, and there we go at the end of the day. Okay, so you can see how that price did come back to that exhaustion zone, push past probably that opening candle. Just gives you that bit of information that you're not going to get from a lot of other indicators. Okay, so if we look back for a couple of days, you can kind of see there's a nice push out of the chop zone, coming back into the chop zone. Okay, we have a large opening range, but it looks like there's a fair bit of push movement there, so it kind of came back down. There we go, the chop zone as well. It hit look at that, it hit that exhaustion line up the top there perfectly. Okay, so these lines are clear. They're clear lines that we can use for support and resistance, and I use them all the time. So a bit of advice for members that have access to this now. Put it on your charts, have a bit of a play around with it. Use all the lines as key support and resistance. Okay, so let me just pull up the indicator itself and talk a bit about what you can actually add. Okay, so you can see here on the right, we have a lot of different things. They're numbered, so we can talk about these numbers in our members Discord. So we have the ADR, easy, we just make sure we ticked it on. A nightly range, ticked on. Cumulative delta, which is down here on the right, we can tick that on. Yesterday's information, so the lines are on from yesterday. So we have our order high, low, close. Okay, so then we have our opening range information. So we've got opening range on. The riptide we have turned on. The number of candles in the opening range is going to be 12 because we are dealing on a 5-minute candle. Again, I have to make sure that we put in the start time of that opening range, so US market open. Okay, so for me in Central Time it's 8:35. If you were in Eastern Standard Time, you put that 9:35. Okay. I've got the Fab 4 on there, the chop zone. You can also put on fair value gaps. So you could turn fair value gaps on and we could have minimum and maximum tick sizes. And we also have VWAP on there. And you could have as many standard deviations as you would like. You could put on there 4 standard deviations, 3 standard deviations and so forth. I'm not a big I don't like to put too many standard deviation lines on here because it can get a bit messy. But apart from that, all the information is on there. So have a bit of a play around with it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me via Discord. We'll talk through this a lot in Discord, I guarantee you. And if you are interested in becoming a member of Ace Trading, please use the WAP sign up link in the description below, and I will see you next time.